And so what's the truth then? Let's flip a book. John chapter 10. What is the truth? John chapter 10. Go to John chapter 10, verses 9 through 11. And I got it on the screen. I'm going to read it out loud so you don't have to go there. But this is Jesus talking. And he says, I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. So we got salvation. They will come in and go out and find pasture. Pastures. What do you need to be at rest? Right? Sheep are at rest. They're eating. They have not a concern in the world. You will come into me and then you can go out for pasture. You can find pasture. All right? And verse 10 is the one that everybody knows. Verse 10, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. Old school text say abundant life, but life to the full. The fullness of life. The fullness of life. Now, money is important, but it's not the fullness of life. Resources are important, but it's not the fullness of life. It's important to be networked and connected. It's great to have promotions and benefits and bonuses, but that's not where lies the fullness of life. If you want to look at this from the perspective of who the Lord really is, he is the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep so that we have life. Now, the life of a sheep is simple. We complicate our lives. The life of a sheep is one where God takes care of me and I stay where I'm supposed to. It's not one where I got to make things happen. It's one where I follow his direction. And so if we can get that through our heads that we don't got to make it happen because Holy Spirit is always speaking, always willing to give us direction, always willing to give us guidance, always willing to put us in a position where we have a chance to do what glorifies God and pour out to him so that he can pour out to us. If we can get that revelation, then we can avoid being in a position where we've lost perspective. We can. But we got to trust that he is who he says he is. Am I a sheep for this good shepherd? Or am I, a goat? Am I a llama? Am I a dog? Like, am I a sheep or am I a cat? Sheep, dumb, we just need to follow. Cats, man, they got a mind down. Try herding cats, right? You can sheep herd, you can't cat herd. That's just not going to work. And so many of us in life, we want to be cats but be treated like sheep. We want God to protect us, but we want to do our own thing, just like cats do. But what we really need to do is accept that there's an opportunity to refresh our perspective in life and not have this lost perspective, not lose out on what God really has for us, not prevent ourselves from walking in victory if we'll just submit our perspective to be through the lens of the shepherd. Amen? Amen. We got to look through the lens of the shepherd. So it's today. Today is an opportunity. And so it can be hard to accept sometimes, but victory is yours for the taking. Where is your struggle? Where are you fighting? Where are you tired? Right? The Bible teaches us not to be weary in well-doing. Well, how can it tell us to do that? Because it's tiring continuing to work, continuing to do good. You don't feel the fruit of it. You don't see the benefit of it immediately. Well, I can tell you how. It's because the good shepherd says you can come to him and take rest. In fact, Sabbath is a biblical principle, right? When was the last time you even took 2 hours of Sabbath, let alone a whole day? When was the last time you took 2 hours and just sat and did nothing to promote your agenda, but simply wanted to reflect on the blessing of the Lord? When was the last time you took rest? When was the last time you refreshed your perspective from God's standpoint? When was the last time you attempted to connect with heaven's mentality in a real way, that you shut your social media off, you shut the TV off, you turned your phone on mute, and you took time where you have vitality on a weekend when you ain't got nothing to do and said, you know what, Lord? This is me and you. It's me and you. Or with your family, it's us time. Like, we're going to have some time with the Lord. Let's get a devotional. Let's sing a song. Let's listen. Let's meditate. What do you hear God saying? What do you hear God saying? Let's just talk about how great God has been. Like, we got the word. Let's go through. Let's talk about what he's done for us. How did you feel blessed this week? How did you feel blessed this week? You don't know? Well, let's think about it. Let's figure this thing out. How often do we actually embrace the role of a child. I'm a father of a 14-year-old, a 7-year-old, and an almost 2-year-old. Can I tell you, the difference between the oldest and the youngest is the oldest knows more and is more capable, but is also more independent. The youngest one, if you let him, he will cling to me all day, slobbering and spitting and getting my shirts and clothes dirty and pooping on me. Like, he will just stay with me all day. Now, I love them both, but which one does Christ say we're supposed to be like? Those who come to me like little children. The kingdom is theirs, right? That's what he says. So many of us are trying to resolve problems on our own instead of like, Daddy, I need help. I don't know how to do this. How am I supposed to figure out this financial thing? You want me to give, but I don't know. I'm dumb. Like, I done messed this up. Daddy, you said I'm supposed to be celibate until I'm married, so I definitely done messed this up. How I get right? Daddy, what I do? What I'm supposed to do? I took this job because it made more money, and now I can't stand my life. Like, Daddy, what am I supposed to do, Dad? Dad, like, help me. I thought I did good, but now I'm miserable every day. Daddy, what am I supposed to do? Daddy, help, Dad, Daddy. Right? Now, ain't none of us letting ourselves on a regular basis hit that level of vulnerability. You know how I know? Because the Spirit is revealing right now how many of us are holding on to our independence. Because of our own image of ourselves, the person we've created us to be. We think we're good people. We think we're smart enough to solve our own problems. We think that we've qualified and called, but like, we can do it. I'm old enough to do it. I can do it. What a true relationship with God is one where not where you are enough. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy hearing us as believers adopt these secular phrases and try to co-opt them into Christian culture. The whole "I am enough" thing, right? I am enough. Enough for what? Because the prophet Elijah wanted to die. Okay? Are you pulling Elijah level God work? Like, Paul went to prison, and he was in prison. Jeremiah cried out, like, why was I even born? Like, take that, like, you can take me back. But I'm enough. I'm enough. David cried out through all the Psalms. Like, I just need us to understand, like, they recognized they weren't enough. That God is enough. That my Father is enough. And when I don't understand and I don't think he's enough, I still go and cry out to him. Why isn't it working? This is what you said. I mean, Elijah was completely obedient, ran, and it's like, man, this is messed up. Obeying you done got me here. Jonah was mad that he was successful, if you know the story. He was called to prophesy to Nineveh that judgment was coming, and he went the other way. And he got swallowed by the fish and, thrown overboard, swallowed by the fish, came out, like, okay, I'm going to do what you said, God. He goes and proclaims judgment on Nineveh. Nineveh repents. And Jonah's mad because he didn't think in his knowledge that Nineveh deserved a second chance. Is the prophet enough? Is he enough? Is he enough to do what God? No, he's clear. He was clearly not enough within himself to obey the Lord on his own. He went the opposite way. And even when he did obey, he was mad at the results because it didn't fit what he thought should be. We are not enough. We need Jesus. And if we don't rest in Jesus, then we are liable to continue suffering the loss of perspective. Suffering because we think we know too much. We think we can do too much. And God empowers, God informs, God calls, God gifts, but it's all subject to God. He can make you great, just like he made us clean. But you weren't enough to do it yourself. You ain't enough to save. You can't save yourself. I can't save myself. Preaching this word, I can't save myself. I gotta watch my word. Like even the disciples, like I gotta stick to this, and I don't want to be disqualified myself. They out here planting churches and getting people to know Jesus and still walking like I'm trying to make sure I walk circumspectly. I don't want myself to be disqualified. But down here, we accepting this reasoning, oh, I'm enough. I am enough. It makes me, I'm enough. I am enough. God made me enough. No, he didn't. He made you enough to depend on him. And he made you enough so that through him, things are possible that are not possible with you because you are not enough. Father comes trying to get his son healed. It's like, this Jesus, your disciples, they tried to heal him, he couldn't heal. Well, maybe this one takes fasting and praying. I don't know. Come here. Demon, go. It's like, why couldn't we do that? We thought we was enough. You understand? Like, it's a flawed theology. Itself is God. And so many of us accept it that it breaks down our ability to truly depend on God. If you ain't completely and totally helpless without God, what are you doing? What are you doing? All of your stress comes from you taking the place of God. All your stress. You struggling with your finances? Are you doing what God says do with them? Your relationships? Are you doing what God says do with them? Your mental health? Are you doing what God says to do? You refreshing yourself with the word? You read the word? You meditate on the word? You memorize the word? You doing what God says to do with it? If we're not doing what God says to do with it, we're the problem. And so here, Jesus is saying, no, it's the thief that came to steal, kill, and destroy. He's the one that came to mess up the blessings of their existence. I came to bring life. And so today is the beginning of a breakdown of how we're going to go through piece by piece and pull different aspects of life where we feel like we've lost something and then reveal the truth of what God has given us to find. Wouldn't you rather have what God has for you than what you can find yourself? Yes, sir. Wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know about you. I've done it. I've found my stuff. I've done my stuff. I've made my own opportunities. I've made my own luck. I've made my own relationships. And I've tried to stamp God's approval on it. And I have crashed and burned. The areas of blessing and empowerment in my life have come where it's like I recognize, God, you got to do this. My marriage, you got to do this, man. I can't, like, sometimes this lady's crazy. Like, these kids, like, they crazy. Like, I can't do this. God, if you gifted them to me, then Lord, you show me what to do. I'm not enough. I don't understand enough. I don't have enough wisdom. I need your wisdom. It's through that kind of attitude that I can experience blessing and peace and joy every day. I can wake up happy every day.